Hi guys, today I'm going to share with you my top 5 tips for visiting London from myself, a tour guide. Hopefully these tips will help you enjoy your time in London. So the first tip is just to understand and acknowledge how big London is. So if you are trying to get a lot done in your day, just kind of writing down, your top absolute have to sees, places you need to visit, and just write them down on a piece of paper and then separate them geographically where they are. For instance, Abbey Road is quite far out from central London, whereas if you wanted to do the London Eye and you also wanted to visit Horse Guards, they're both in Whitehall and are actually about a 5 to 10 minute walk away from each other depending on your speed. Now, whilst London is quite significant in its expansive nature, it is also a city that is actually easy to walk. So if you're going to be visiting Piccadilly Circus, Leicester Square, and then you want to go on to Covent Garden, it's actually easier and quicker to walk from Leicester Square to Covent Garden than it is to get to Underground. And if, like me, walking can be a bit of an issue for you, pop down to a Strand. There are numerous buses that will take you all the way down to the bottom of Covent Garden. Again, it's going to be quicker, it's going to be more pleasant. Covent Garden station is incredibly busy and it is a lift station. Now, there are emergency stairs, however, it is 15 stories below ground and it is an old metal spiral staircase. Yeah, I have done it once. I regretted it. Don't make my mistake. There are warnings at both the bottom and the top telling you to only use it in an emergency. If you see a warning sign, listen to it. Learn from my tragedy. Honestly, I got about halfway up and I was not in a good way. My second top tip, and this is, it's kind of common sense, but we are seeing more and more what I just see as kind of exploitative tourist traps, and that is to use the toilet when you're out and about. Pee when it's free. If you're in a museum, use the toilet. If you're in a restaurant, use the toilet. The public toilets around London are getting fewer and fewer, and unfortunately in high tourist areas we are seeing more of the toilet places where you pay about £1 to go to a toilet, and often they're really small dingy toilets. They're just not nice. So whilst you're about, take advantage of the toilets when they're free. It's going to save you a lot of time, and honestly the toilets are quite nice. My favourite free toilet in London is actually in the City of London. It is right next to Bank Station. It's in the Royal Exchange. You come in, you go down just on your left hand side, down a flight of stairs, and they have soap from Fortnum & Mason in there, and they're always sparkling clean. So tip number 3, if you are visiting London and you're going to be doing some of the top tourist attractions, is to take advantage of the 2-for-1 offers. Now, if you are coming from internationally, you aren't likely to have seen these advertisements because they are predominantly pushed at the British market. And to take advantage of these offers, you need to type in 2-for-1 London into Google or your search of your choice, and you're going to come across it. And this is done by our National Rail offers. And you need to have a National Rail ticket into London, and then you'll either fill in a little form or download a little voucher. It's an amazing scheme. It's a great way to save money, and all you have to do is, you don't have to get a ticket all the way into London. You can get a single ticket from somewhere like Victoria, one stop out. It's going to end up saving you a significant amount of money. I will post some example journeys that you can book for £3 or £4. And for instance, if you're going to be going on for London Eye, using a 2-for-1 on that, you're going to be saving yourself, £20-30 a go. So it's a great way to save on your tickets and your entrances. And that's kind of leads on to tip number 4, and that is to take advantage of London's many free galleries and museums. And also, if you are visiting and you really do enjoy it, please do consider donating. They are free of charge. However, the work that they need to do is costly. Conservation work costs a lot of money. The scientific work costs a lot of money. So yeah, if you can afford to donate a little bit, honestly, it will be hugely appreciated by the organisations. However, they are free of charge, so please take advantage of it. And there's other low cost things that you can do. Tickets don't have to be in the hundreds. If you are visiting London. Hey guys, time for my final tip. And this tip, unfortunately, does have to cover the more darker side of any major tourist city, and that is the people who are out to take advantage of the fact that you're a tourist visiting London. And these are the pickpockets, the thieves, the scam artists. It is a fact that they are in London. Now, they're not in London more than they are in any of the other major cities, but they do exist. And the number one thing that you can do to protect yourself against these people is stay alert. To actually be aware that, yes, if you're in a crowded area, then there almost certainly is pickpockets in that area. I will link an account below that is doing the Lord's work regarding pickpockets in London. They actually post videos and photos of some of the prolific pickpockets that are currently in London, and also the areas that they found them in. You can go have a look at this account. Being informed is honestly one of the best things that you can do. So what does a pickpocket look like? The honest answer is they look like just you and I. They look like normal people who just blend into a crowd. But there are some things that you can look for. So the first thing is, do they look like they are dressed for British weather? Are they wearing big, baggy, bulky clothes? Now, it might be that they're from Florida, and we're not going to judge that. However, if you see one or two women particularly walking really close to each other and they have totes or big massive bags over their arms, take my advice and walk in the opposite direction, because they are almost certainly a pickpocket. The second aspect of that is when you're getting on and off the underground, or you're in an area where it'd be really easy to just quickly grab something, make sure that you don't have your wallet, your phone in your hands, particularly when the underground doors are opening or closing, because that is a peak opportunity for them to grab it and run. And that's not just pickpockets, that is also for opportunistic thieves, unfortunately. Now, the next part of this is to understand the scams that are currently going on. Now, some of these scams have been going on for decades, and they will probably go on for decades longer. It's just an unfortunate fact of life. But when you're walking across Westminster Bridge or the Millennium Bridge, or honestly, any bridge, you are likely to come across groups of people on the ground pretending that people are winning. You're going to see little groups of people whooping and cheering. They want you to stop. And they want you to stop for 2 reasons. First of all, they want you to take part in their game because you've just seen someone win all this money. No, you haven't. They are gangs, they are organised, and the person who's winning is included in the gang, okay? So A, do not stop. Just keep walking. Just walk on past them. And then the second thing is, if you do stop, even to just be like, oh, I want to see what's going on here. The second you stop, they are going to try and pickpocket you. So please, if you see this, just keep walking. Like, if they come up to you and offer to take a photo, also say no and keep walking, because they almost certainly are trying to rob you of either your belongings, your phone, your wallet, your dignity. Unfortunately, it is a fact. These people are out there and they choose to make bad life decisions, and we just have to accept that that is the reality of it. So the best way that you can protect yourself when you're visiting London is to stay alert. Be aware that if you are in a high tourist area, then there is almost certainly people around you who do not have good intentions. And that doesn't mean that you can't go to any of the big tourist areas. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, when you're in those areas, please just be very wary. Don't keep keys, wallets, phones in your back pockets. Keep them in a locked compartment in your bag. You know, have like a money wallet, have a, you know, a secret little thing. And if you are going to use a backpack or something where people can come up easily behind you, I would really recommend investing in the few pounds it's going to cost you to get a lock for your tags, because anything that you can do to show that you're alert of your surroundings and of the people around you, that's going to make you less likely to be a target, has got to be a good thing. Okay, so I really hope you find this video useful. If you do have any questions about it, please do put a comment below, and please do like and subscribe. As I said, I'm a tour guide. I love London. I love working in London. And I hope that you guys all have an amazing time when you're visiting London. And please remember, London is an absolutely huge area. It's made up of 32 boroughs and the City of London. So when you are planning your visit, please don't make the mistake of thinking that everything in London is absolutely tiny and next to each other, because it's not. See, that's a bonus tip.